The studio lights burned bright, the laughter of the audience echoed across the stage, and the tension in the air was thick enough to slice through. It was supposed to be just another night of witty banter and light-hearted jokes on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. But the moment John Kennedy, the Louisiana senator known for his sharp wit and homespun wisdom, stepped onto the stage, no one knew that this interview would become one of the most unforgettable moments in late-night television history. The evening began innocently enough: jokes about politics, playful jabs about Washington gridlock, and Colbert's signature sarcasm. But just when the crowd had settled into the rhythm of laughter, Stephen leaned in, his expression shifting from playful to piercing. "Senator," he said, his voice carrying a deliberate weight, "there are people who believe you've been using your position not for the good of the people, but for personal gain. How do you respond to those accusations?" The studio fell silent. The question wasn't just bold, it was an ambush. Gasps rippled through the audience. The camera zoomed in on Kennedy's face, revealing not anger, but a heavy calm, as though the words carried the weight of years of unfair judgment. John Kennedy sat back in his chair, folding his hands, the familiar southern twang of his voice carrying a steadiness that silenced even the restless shuffling in the crowd. "Stephen," he said slowly, "I've been accused of a lot of things in my life. I've been called too blunt, too old-fashioned, too stubborn for modern politics. But I'll tell you what I've never been accused of by the people back home: turning my back on them. Because I haven't, and I won't." The audience stirred, unsure of where this was going. Colbert raised an eyebrow, clearly expecting the senator to deflect, to dodge, or to fumble. But Kennedy didn't. Instead, he leaned forward, his voice tightening with emotion. "When I was a boy," he continued, "I watched my daddy work himself half to death just to keep food on the table. I saw my mama sacrifice everything to make sure her kids got an education. They never asked for handouts, they asked for fairness. And every decision I make in Washington, whether people like it or not, I make with those faces in my mind. That's not personal gain. That's service. That's duty." The room was so still that the hum of the stage lights filled the silence. Stephen, momentarily caught off guard, tried to cut in with a quip, but Kennedy didn't let him. His voice grew stronger, and his words carried the weight of conviction. "Let me tell you something, Stephen. People these days confuse disagreement with corruption. They confuse honesty with arrogance. I may not always say what people want to hear, but I say what I believe to be true. And if that costs me popularity on shows like this one, so be it. I wasn't elected to make late-night TV happy. I was elected to serve the people who trusted me with their voice." The Audi.